Welcome everybody to Full Circle Podcast. Gonna talk about some things. Speak some truth. Speak some non-truths. Tell a story or two. You never know what you're gonna hear on Full Circle Podcast. But remember, viewer discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? I'm Clint. My buddy Dixon Stovall here. I'm with Full Circle Podcast, and this is a podcast. This is us talking. Anyways, what were we talking about? Talking about your a little bit of your art at first.
I think art, yeah. So
Tell me a little bit about your process. What do you kind of get your inspiration from? Where does it start?
basically, I mean, it's such a wild ride. Kind of, it starts with a lot of times, I don't have dreams at nighttime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't dream much either.
it's kind of irregular, but I have these really vivid dreams in the daytime. And I've had experiences throughout my life, different, so to speak, out of body experiences. But I've been sketching since I was a kid, and I draw from a lot of different realms. But I say realms, but I draw from a lot of mental realms.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like to take in all my artwork, I like to work on focusing on a better, more sustainable future, while keeping something relative and similarly objective, to where you can kind of put your hands on it at the same time. But I have a lot of really talented friends that do a lot of abstract expressionist work, and I admire that. But at this point, I'm really interested in doing some more almost perceptive type stuff, surrealism, and stuff you can see and put your hands on, but at the same time it's not quiet. It's a little bit different. It's depicting something that hasn't maybe quite happened yet. It's bending time, bending space, something of that nature.
Far out, man.
Yeah.
Some far out stuff. So, kind of, what's this painting here about? What's this one called?
Alright, so, this one, I'm not really sure the name of this yet. I was actually painting on this tonight. This is a piece, if you guys can see it. This is a collaboration with my friend, my dear friend Byron Aldridge from Austin, Texas, and he did a lot of the the nodal stuff in here, a lot of the airbrush work. He's a really good airbrush artist, but it's a kind of a depiction of ancient technology, or a civilization that was kind of not necessarily wiped away, but that sort of kind of symbolizes it disappeared.
Yeah.
But that's why there's these little portals down here, which this is about 90% finished. But yeah, this is kind of the caduceus is the sign of healing. A lot of times you might see that
Okay.
in the medical field. Or
Oh, I see. Right.
different places, the double
Yeah, the double helix.
snake.
Yeah,
it's a double head, two-headed snake.
Right.
So we made it one, but it kind of splits back into two. But yeah, there's a mirrored image of a lake here, to some, and going back to some of archaeological work by guys like maybe Graham Hancock or other people,
right,
that have stated that there's a large possibility that some cataclysmic event wiped out ancient technologies or civilizations. Furthermore, this is just kind of a depiction maybe of something similar to that.
Very, very cool, dude. That's awesome. Graham Hancock, yeah, he's a character, an incredible mind. Yeah. I love Graham Hancock a whole lot. I very him and Randall Carlson. I can't really get enough of them two.
I'm interested to see someone with a different point of view sit down and have a conversation with him, because I'm intrigued by it, but I'd like to see some of his colleagues challenge his stance.
I would like to see that.
I think it's
debate.
interesting. I really do, but I'd like to see someone challenge that, because he's good at compiling information. you
Yeah,
know,
he is.
But, there's no but. He's amazing, but I have to see it in time. If I mean the things that he's saying prove to be real, then it overturns a lot of the educational, just the collegiate world. I mean,
yeah, for
everything
sure.
that's been taught all the way down to small children, like that overturns everything everyone's ever been taught. So he's gonna have to definitely do his work, but it seems like what he's anticipating to be, his hypotheses, and they seem to be fairly justified. So it looks interesting.
It does look interesting. I'm excited to see what happens with it. I think there's some good possibilities in it. I bought Randall Carlson's Cataclysma Catastrophes or something like that. It was a DVD. It was three DVDs. They're like 8 hours a piece or 6 hours a piece, I think. And yeah, it was extensive, needless to say, and I didn't understand shit out of it. I mean,
Yeah,
I tried to follow it as
Magician of the
I
Gods
could.
by
Graham?
Hancock. Yeah,
Nice.
it's like there's a lot of data out there that's not really revealed to the public. I think we live in a society like that spends a lot of time and energy keeping people not necessarily in the know, or as you would say, like aware of what's potentially the truth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So what's up with this other painting here you got?
the other one is this kind of sprung, and they're both almost there. This one's more of a kind of like a childlike. It's actually a part of a series called Childhood Portal, and this is the second one of 3, but it's the last one to be completed. It's like a depiction of like a science fiction or possibly futuristic. I shouldn't say sci-fi, but maybe a futuristic city, and megastructure is being built, and then it's kind of a drawing from my childhood. I started these when I was probably 17 to 19, maybe younger, and then I turned some of them into paintings. So
Very, very cool, man.
and there's a little door there, I guess, maybe like a little.
I seen that.
Yeah, make that a little more like a real
That
door.
that bridge is that bridge is wild.
Like a caterpillar bridge.
Yeah. Very cool.
Sorry about that.
You good? Too cool, man. You have a knack right there for sure. That's some really awesome artwork.
Thanks. I have to balance it between like my music, and try to be a half-assed decent husband in person.
Yeah.
And not be obsessed. But art is kind of something I think I found most people that do art are just genuinely drawn to doing it because they love it. Not really. That's it for the sake of needing to do it.
And it is an addiction for sure. I noticed.
Not really that.
It-
I mean, I should
it
say
can be.
that.
It can be.
Yeah, but I mean, like
An
just-
obsession is a better term
Just
for
something like that. A person that's really dedicated to doing what they want to do, and whether you do, whether you make cakes or you paint or you do gnarly ass haircuts, man. I mean, I think people that are really, art or martial arts for that matter.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah. It is
it's
an art.
refining what you do to a point of precision.
Yes.
And like once you tap into that, there's really something cool behind that. Whatever it is, you know,
Yep.
like whatever form.
Yeah, I agree. That's very cool.
So,
So,
you have this light here. Is this?
Yeah.
This like the? Like we have to think of a name for this chandelier.
it's my chandelier. Yeah, it's the podcast chandelier.
Chandelier.
Pretty fancy. Got that for free in the shop next door. You know, it's fancy stuff. But I'm glad you came out tonight. I've been wanting to talk to you about some of your about your music too. What's going on with that?
I'm still working on music, man. Kind of living here. It's funny you ask me that. Living in Wichita Falls is it's a city that doesn't have a large market for electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 3 or 4 other people that do it, to my knowledge. Maybe a dozen people. I don't know, but
Right.
it's not a large market for it. So I do more like funk, future funk, glitch music, and then I DJ, of course. But yeah, man, I took a little bit of time off from music the past year because she and I got married, and I finished last year. What was it, a year and a half ago? I returned to school and finished my degree, so I kind of took a little bit of time off from music. So kind of been transient the past like year and a half, which makes it tough to keep working with your music. But I'm kind of back to the point where I'm back. I'm back to doing it regularly. I worked with a label out of Boston called Transcendent Tunes, run by Frank Heiss, really good guy. And I've met a lot of really cool people and gotten to do a lot of really cool things along the way. But as far as my music, like, it's probably in the early phases of where it needs to be. So I'm like, it's developing, but it's kind of in a refinery process, just like my art. But in all honesty, I started doing art at about age 12, and then music, I don't know, maybe 17. And they kind of feed off of one another, so
Yeah.
I don't right now, until I can start booking in other cities and get to a more centrally located hub. I gotta kind of working on my painting, and as I said, like I just kind of hang out in the Shire,
Yeah.
take it easy in my Hobbit world.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, man, I'm still working on tunes. I've got some stuff that I just released some music recently, and
I think
I'm
I
trying
think
to.
I heard that on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
What
man.
was that? What was the name of that one?
Lavender Sunrise.
Yeah. Yeah. Smooth Grooves. Yeah, I liked that one.
I'm trying to move forward with a little bit more, with some stuff to a little bit more of a bite to it, but I've been just, the music market is wild, you know, and like I'm definitely intrigued by electronic music. I've been doing it for a while, but I'm also trying to refine a style that's mine, you know, and very noticeable. It's hard to do.
I can tell. I mean, everything that I've ever heard of yours, it's definitely it's your sound. You definitely do have a sound. I think.
Thanks, man.
I definitely do think. It's from what I've heard. You know, I haven't heard it all.
I need
obviously.
to come with a little more heavier stuff, which is what I've been working on. So
That's great, man. It's progress, right?
Yeah, I just don't like. The thing is, man, I gotta have a place to play it in a community that's receptive of it.
Right.
So, there's a really cool group of people that have been really receptive of my art, and they're called Create Culture from Austin. Shout out to those dudes, great guys, love you guys. But they've been really cool cats, and like I'm probably hopefully gonna maybe do some music with those guys. But yeah, I've around here there's not a lot of booking opportunities.
No.
And I've lived in like, what have we lived in, 5 different states in the past 4 or 5 years. So time flies. But yeah, like being a transient is a tough thing when you're releasing music, and when you're working on electronic music and your fan base is primarily a lot of times on the internet. To keep it honest, the numbers game gets tough, and then when you try to book stuff, it's you got to be in a place where people come out to shows. So yeah,
Right.
man, I'm optimistic about it. I'm still working really hard on both this and music. But I find myself a lot of times drawn to visual art these days.
And the visual art, explain what's the visual art?
Visual art.
Oh, visual. I thought you said the visual.
The visual. The visuals.
The visual.
man.
Oh, the visuals. My bad, man.
No,
I get it.
good. Yeah, but just I don't know. I've been sketching in Notepad since I was a kid. Like, I think I paid attention in high school at some point, but most of my time was spent drawing. I love the good teachers out there. I was usually drawing in class.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a
What have you been up to, man?
man. I haven't been up to much. Just doing this shit. I don't call it shit. I just called it shit.
Poops and
It's poop stuff. But yeah. What was I gonna say? What yeah. This is not. Yeah, you're right. Wichita Falls is definitely not the marketplace for your style of music.
that's
It's,
okay.
it is okay.
It could be. It can be, or just not even my style. Just a little more progressive, music scene. But it's gonna take someone kind of sticking their neck out, and someone in the position that I'm not in to have a venue that supports that type of music. And it's okay, man. But yeah, there's a lot of things on the brink in the near future that I'm excited about. Living in some crazy times though, man.
We are. Trump is our president now. Whether
How about that
whether anybody likes it or not, he is. If you're a U.S. citizen, he
How about
is.
that pube wig that he's got? What do you think that is? What do you think is like?
It's the finest of the finest.
My goodness.
Pube hair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like sometimes.
Embedded into a scalp,
Goodness, yeah.
like hair plugs.
I've had like.
But it's real. He can wash it.
It's funny. Like we went back and watched The Matrix recently, and like I've had friends that have talked to us about since Elon came out and said, what was it? I don't know. Do you have Google accessible really quick?
Oh yeah. What is it?
Well, I don't know. What did he say? It was like a 99 to something billion to 1 chance that we're living in a simulation.
Oh yeah.
Something to that degree. But at first it seemed like pretty. I was like, oh well, the guys put a lot of stuff in space. But then I started to really think about this, and don't think I'm like by any means like stamping my, this is what I think, but how in the fuck could someone like that end up as a president?
If we're not living in a simulation,
it does spring some questions
For
man.
sure.
Like it does make you think like
we've
if you're the best star of your own reality show, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen that article floating around, but he do I think that he's as vile as he acts? Part of me wants to say no. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if
be optimistic about it. Hope that he's not as.
I don't usually smoke cigarettes, by the way, but
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
I don't. But
When in Rome, on the podcast, have an American spirit.
yeah.
Natural, non-additive,
Oh yeah.
organic tobacco.
But no, I guess I think that it's kind of a. I don't want to sound nihilistic or anything by any means, because I try to be optimistic. Like,
It's all we can be.
Gotta be here and live in it, but it is a weird thing to think about. Like, that guy is. Well, it's kind of weird to think that we need someone to be our per se leader or president or
That's
fill in the blank, whatever it
very
is.
cool that you brought that up.
In general, like I think I don't know the idea of that guy speaking for us. I mean,
speaking
like,
for us.
like that, because that's kind
Having
of
having the button.
that's sort of the job, I mean, that's kind of, and there's probably a lot of people, I've seen it on social media and the mucky, greasy, gify, memey, saucy world of
Social dickheads.
yeah, but I mean, everyone's
Not
entitled
dickheads.
to their opinions. But I think
That's
the thing
right.
is that one of the things that's gone by, as I guess is like my granddad would say, like gone by the wayside. But I think people forget context a lot. Like they forget that. Like for instance, I had a guy recently, as in like probably I think today, a friend of mine say that. I like express my disdain for a person we call our president, who openly, basically, perpetuates misogynistic, racist, really divisive, just hateful means of behavior, and then people feel the need to defend that, and I find that I do on on a psychological level. I find that really odd, and a lot of them, I say them, I mean people that do support this person. I had a friend that said, what was it? I said I feel I basically said that this something to the degree of this man's not a leader. He's a misogynistic, racist. But I'm going to try to make this year a better year by sticking my hand out to people and continuing to do the right thing and bond with people and work together. And I had a friend of mine reach out to me, and this is again contextual, and said, "Well, I've heard you say the same things." That's it. I've heard you say the same things.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, what you've heard me say that I had sex with my wife or talked about some gnarly sex I had? Probably. It was consensual.
Locker room talk.
No, that's not locker room talk because it was consensual.
Oh yeah.
There's a big difference in that.
I see what you're saying.
You know,
I was just
if you
gonna
want to
play
talk
devil's
about,
advocate.
yeah, and that's fine. But there's like if you're talking about sex is fine. But if and I think it's a healthy thing to talk about. But if you're talking about doing something against something's will or someone's will, whether it's your dog in your home or a woman, it's fucking wrong. And people know that's wrong. And what shocks me is that people are defending that. And these are people that I've known a good portion of my life, some of them, and they're like, and trying to justifiably say like, well, that's just okay. Like, you're comparing apples to bricks. Like, if you and I are having a beer and you're talking about, and I shouldn't even bring beer into it, but if you and I are talking, and you're talking about wanting to court a woman, and you talk about a sexual endeavor, and I relate out of relativity, just say, well, yeah, excuse me, but I bent my wife over a table and did this. That doesn't compare to grabbing a woman by her pussy that has no desire for me to do so.
Right.
And
I agree with that.
the context of that is a big problem of what we're living. People are drawing unnecessary lines and putting words into people's mouths, and it's not.
So.
I don't like the keyboard warriors, the internet. Like, it's gonna come down to people that are willing to band there and do the right thing. But I do get really, goodness, it's kind of it's a bit of a conundrum. And then you feel, I know a lot of people that feel like they have to choose between the lesser of two evils. How do you feel about that?
It's a divided country right now because that's what it's what a lot of people do watch so much of this mainstream media that it has divided us so much, and then the social media well beyond the regular media does,
But anymore, now that we, there are numerous devices in here. What is media versus social media? It's kind of all on a continuum.
Everybody's so consumed by it. You're consumed with consumerism. You know, it's a consume. You want to get more. You got to have more. You got to have a better job so you can get the new iPhone 7 or 7, whatever the fuck is the new one. I don't know.
Well, craving knowledge is okay. That's
not,
fine,
and
but,
that's
like,
not
as far as like media is
definitely,
concerned.
yeah, definitely not a problem there.
Where's the media? Where is
It's
like,
just the
where do you
consumer
get-
mentality.
Yeah, I agree, but where do you find reliable media?
I mean,
It takes some deciphering.
it
you
does.
know? I
It
mean,
definitely does. You have to know what you're looking for. You definitely do. I'm gonna say something. We're gonna have to probably cut this short. My charger on my laptop broke and it's gonna die. So, bunch of dick. So, I'm sorry.
Do you not have a charger?
Yeah, it broke. A second ago. See, it broke.
Oh, poopsin'.
Yeah. Sorry. But thanks, man, for coming on my podcast and
Yeah.
checking this out and coming to see kind of what we do here a little bit. Thanks for bringing your art, man. I've been wanting to see exactly how big the canvases were that you had them on and everything. Those are beautiful fucking artwork.
Thank you, man. I've got some bigger pieces. I kind of leave them there until. But yeah, thanks for having me, man.
No problem. Let everybody know how they can get in contact with you about your art or your music or.
Yeah. So you know, you got the good Instagram at Dixon Stovall. You can always email me dixon.stovall.productions@gmail.com. Facebook, The Art of Dixon Stovall, or just my name. Yeah, it's pretty simple and pretty easy to get in touch with.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Much
brother.
love, man. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Boom. That's it. That's all we got for you this week. Maybe this month. We're going to come back with another one soon. I don't know when it's going to be. Calm down, buddy. I'll bring you your truths, your non-truths, a story or two. But until then, remember, keep everything full circle. Do unto others as you want to have done unto you. One love. Full Circle Podcast.